So welcome. Good morning, good day, and good evening, wherever you are. My name is Mike Carter. I'm working as an external market analyst for XRP Ocean. So I'm here to present the information they are giving for today. So let me go through it with you. So as you might know, we have now finished the airdrop pre-launch. That was on 31st of May, so thank you for participating if you were part of that. And now it's time for the deployment, the utility of the airdrop. So if you see the screen in front of you that I'm sharing, this is the part of the deployment. You have a personal wallet, in this case a Zayman wallet, and you have the airdrop wallet, the Swift wallet, and the LP wallet. Naturally, we have a few more hours. Team reported that there's a few more hours for the official launch. So you are in the right wheelhouse at this point in time. So keep it coming. And of course, in a few hours, you will be possible to utilize all the airdrop that you have been given. And that is really the stake of the moment in time. I'm going to jump over to a little bit the charts. I think that's quite interesting. So since I have been working as a coaching trader in London before and training people in the art of trading and investing, I also, of course, watch the market quite closely. So as you can see, this is the trading view. This is actually the chart, the program where you can see all the price action of different assets in the world. In this case, in front of us here, we have Bitcoin. So definitely interesting to see Bitcoin is now hovering around $104,000. And well, you can see if you have done any technical analysis in this world at some point in time, you can see that we are now below my current zone on the top, which is now red. So let's see where the price heads next. In terms of XRP, this is how the price action looks on Binance exchange, because XRP is the main token in the project XRP Ocean. So we were hovering quite a long time down at around $0.5 bounced up, and now we are at 2.145 at this point in time, right now live in front of you. So this is something that I watch quite closely on a daily basis to keep track of what's happening in the market and how the moves are going right at this point in time. So let me dive into the presentation for today. So XRP Transocean, we have now elevated. So XRP Ocean, XRP Transocean, the ultimate liquidity powerhouse is what the team has told me. So this is really what we are talking about, liquidity providing in the space of decentralized finance. And I'm going to walk you through all the steps and details. First of all, I'm going to jump into, of course, a financial disclaimer, so we know what this is and what you can expect. And of course, always remember to do your own research and make your own decisions before you invest in anything. So that is a disclaimer for you, just to read and remember. Thank you for that. All right, let's continue. Latest news, actually Globe Newswire came out with an interesting news just at the end of May, so very recently here. So Remitix, that's a company that works with global remittance. And if you don't know what that is cross-border payments, basically sending money back to your parents and your siblings and cousins. And that is something that is a big business in this world today. And they recently secured a $15 million from top XRP holders to launch their scaling operations. So also interesting to see that this PayFi startup, so PayFi means basically, well, they are going to be using XRP for the global remittance and border cross transactions. So real world adoption that drives more liquidity usage. And this is also where liquidity pools come into the play to actually give that liquidity needed for conducting these. So interesting to see what's happening in the space of XRP at this point in time. So XRP Transocean, according to the team, this is what we are talking about. The mission is to empower users, protocol institutions, and with the seamless real-time liquidity. So liquidity is something that we talk a lot about in finance, because we need to understand that without liquidity, basically money available, it can be quite tricky to do certain transactions and trading, lending, and so forth. And that is where liquidity pools come into the space. So XRP Transocean is aiming to become the new liquidity provider in the space today, with a potential upcoming of more product and potential exchange. So let's look into what we have in front of us. The power of liquidity. So in terms of liquidity providing, if you haven't heard that before, it's really something interesting, especially in terms of cryptocurrency and fintech. Because in the old CeFi world, well, liquidity was provided, but mostly by banks, institutions, and hedge funds, and so forth. And of course, they earned a lot of fees from that and provided liquidity to people to use. So a really good way to exchange value in certain aspects. Now, with the decentralized finance that is now happening in the world, with XRP as a very good contender, is really interesting, because now almost anyone can participate to become a liquidity provider in the space of transactions globally across borders. And of course, people are happy to pay fees for those transactions, those trading, and those borrowing, because that is what people do when they use the blockchain. And of course, those fees comes us into gain. If you're part of the community, you will be gaining from that. So what are the barriers of sort of traditional models? So the LP models, so liquidity providing old models. As I said, reserved for banks, hedge funds, elite investors, accredited investors. Kind of complex and quite difficult to get into. And of course, limited visibility. We all know that if you're sending transactions across borders around the world, well, that takes a long time and will be quite costly many times. But this is something that is happening in the works to change because of the decentralized finance and XRP blockchain in this case. So we have traditional finance, which is called CeFi, so centralized finance, banks and so forth. And as you can see, there's a lot of things that has been around for a long time in terms of middlemen, high fees, restrictions, and kind of slow access actually. In the decentralized finance space, well, that is more of what's happening right now at this point in time. Instant, peer-to-peer, transparency, because the blockchain transactions are available online for anyone. And the low cost. I mean, speed and cost is something that everybody is looking for. So of course, when banks see that something can be sent in 3 to 5 seconds and costing less than a cent, they are kind of interested to utilize that. The open to all participants in this case, and borderless in real time. So the world is moving. Here we go. So what is DeFi then? Decentralized finance. Well, instead of having a bank in the middle or some other institution that actually is controlling and demanding some certain actions or whatever there might be for transactions across border, decentralized finance works with a decentralized blockchain. However, XRP is a more centralized blockchain, although it works in a similar way. Transactions are done through the programming that is done on the blockchain. That means very quick, very fast, and really no middleman. There is no one that has to approve. It's already done in the system, trustless and permissionless. And the sector is really booming. I mean, $100 billion and more is actually happening right now as we speak, because really decentralized finance, which I believe is very much the future, is really growing massively. So permissionless, borderless, and transparent is the key factors of decentralized finance. So what about XRP Transocean and the future of DeFi? Well, this is the mission and the goal according to the team. So XRP Transocean is planning or wanting to be an LP platform, basically providing that liquidity that is needed for all the operations inside the decentralized space of blockchain finance. Powered by Ripple's XRP Ledger, I mentioned the speed and the low cost, something that a lot of people are looking for. Institutional grade is also something that the mission of this project is to really apply this in a very fashionable way. And the vision is also to become fully licensed, fully compliant, and fully secure at the end of the day. Right, so we have a system today in majority in the world that is called SWIFT. That is basically the old system, so to speak. That was or is the bank's system that has been used for many years. And of course will still be used probably for quite some time. However, it's starting to shift quite substantially. The SWIFT system is, as we mentioned before, quite expensive, quite slow and tedious. And XRP, which is at the moment one of the most secure, the quickest and the cheapest one to use for big and large money transactions. So really having that as a goal for the participants and the usage of the XRP blockchain and its Ripple technology. So ready, here we go. This is Swift turning into the new centralized or decentralized finance. So why Ripple XRP? Well, I mentioned this before. It's really, really fast. If you have sent money back home or anywhere you send it in the world, you know that it takes a very long time. And it isn't really pleasant to be waiting for that. So a 3-second wide world transaction speed is quite interesting. And if you imagine how many transactions are sent per second, well, we talk about 1,500 plus transactions per second in terms of XRP. If you talk about Visa as a comparison, they have a similar speed in this case. However, we also know that there's a lot of middlemen, a lot of fees, and it takes a longer time because of that. In terms of the fees for XRP, as you can see, it's basically 1 cent in many cases, or 0.0002 XRP. So really, really cheap to use the XRP blockchain to send transactions. And of course, when something is very cheap, very quick, and doesn't cost really much, then also the energy usage is really on a low level. And this is right now actually being very much adopted by banks, payment providers, and governments around the world. I had a news from Reuters in the middle of May coming up where 80 banks in Japan is planning to implement XRP and the technology as part of their transaction plan. So yeah, a lot of happening with Ripple XRP, and definitely a project that is very established. I'm going to show you a quick screenshot if you haven't seen that before. Or no, actually I'm not going to show you a screenshot. I'm going to show you a live picture. What is happening with XRP? Have you ever looked at the coin market cap where XRP also is presented? This is basically the Bible of cryptocurrency, where you can see every single cryptocurrency available in the world. However, XRP is at position number 4, or actually number 3, because USDT, which is US dollar in crypto world, is available on place number 3. So we have a market cap of 125 billion US dollars at this moment in time, and this is live numbers. So this is nothing that can be made up. I can reload this page and you can see it for yourself. The price is currently $2.14 US per XRP, and the trading volume, basically how much is utilized in the last 24 hours, that is $2 billion US. So, I mean, those amounts, even though they can definitely grow larger, but I do think that seeing those amounts is quite great, because when you know that something has a large amount of volume of money, and it's also sent a lot, basically used in the last 24 hours, then you know this project is really used by people, companies, and business in the world today. So definitely a project that has been around for 10 years and is really established. So that is what XRP Ocean is leveraging in this project. All right, let's continue. So as you can see on this screenshot, this is the xrpscan.com, which is the open public ledger where you can see all the transactions that is done on the XRP blockchain. And why I'm showing that is basically that, we have to understand that there's a difference. There's a really big difference between the old banking system and what we now call the decentralized finance system. And that is basically that, in the old traditional finance, you cannot see the transactions. But in the blockchain world, you can see all transactions, every transactions on the blockchain publicly on the website. And this is the website, xrpscan.com. And currently this is the liquidity pool. According to the theme, we have 532 million XRP in the pool right now at this point in time. So let's see how this turns out in a few hours when the liquidity pool is launched fully for you if you are participating in the community. So that's going to be really, really interesting. All right, heading back. So right now we are also very, very close, as you know, in the launch, and we are starting the affiliate program to manage this in an even better way. And the team has really been talking to me about this and want me to introduce this to you. So let's dive into this and see what we have here. So how does XRP Ocean actually work? Well, we are using, or they are using, a wallet called Zayman, that is for security, and it's where you deposit your XRP from wherever you might have bought them. And you can then join in the liquidity pool and receive daily rewards based on the pool performance. I mentioned before, performance comes from when a pool is used by other traders, transactors, and so forth. They are happy to pay the fees, and that comes into benefit for the pool. But of course, everything depends on how much it is used. Flexibility, you can track, manage, withdraw at any time with full transparency looking at the blockchain. So that is how XRP Ocean works. So in terms of future proof, I'm just going to say this is the mission or the vision of the team that has been presented to me, what they are trying to achieve. And some things are in place right now, some things are in the works. So trackable, transparent, safe and secure, smart contracts supposed to be coming up with an audit longer run. We have full on-chain reporting, and there is a plan for an AML compliance also down the line. So hidden risk, no surprises, and the opportunity is at your hand. The affiliate opportunity in this case is naturally sharing the opportunity with friends and family and your network. And if you build a powerful network, well, in this case, using the affiliate program built by the team, you can really actually get really nice rewards in terms of XRP coming to your external Zayman wallet. So multi-hit rewards, no selling rare, and actually empower your network and your team that you are currently building. How about the highlights then? So we have the LP rewards, we have the global rewards, we have community rewards, and you can anytime pull out your principal. And we also have leadership bonus and zero risk policy. I'm going to walk through all these details in fine steps. So keep your eyes peeled, grab a pen and paper, and remember to make notes so you grab this. Okay, who can join them? Well, I would say that anyone who finds this remotely interesting and want to participate in something that could actually bring XRP to you as a benefit by participating could absolutely join. Anyone who is interested, is in the crypto space or not in the crypto space, or just interested in becoming part of the decentralized finance that is now being built. The team has a zero risk policy. So what does it really mean? There's a lot of text on this slide here, but what it basically means at any point in time, you can withdraw your position from the pool. So how does that really work? Well, in decentralized finance, as I mentioned before, it doesn't require a human or bank or something to approve of certain transactions. It is basically remove or put in. And that is a computer-driven functionality that you can use at any point in time. So how does it work then? A little bit more in detail. When you position funds, so when you actually put liquidity, XRP, into the liquidity pool, the zero risk mechanism is automatically activated, ensuring initial position is protected. So as long as it is active, you can continue to earn those rewards in XRP coming to your external Zayman wallet. And once your position, basically, let's say you deposit 1,000 XRP and you have rewards of 1,000 XRP in your external wallet, well, then the zero risk policy is now finished and completed. So that gives you a good security in terms of getting started. And this is not just a platform. The team really has a vision for this. A new standard, earn as you grow finance, powered by real liquidity and the transparency. So let's look into what we can do. We are going to walk you through this LP rewards model. What does it mean? As you can see, if you start by depositing 9 plus XRP into the LP wallet, you can then get rewards up to 0.3% on a daily compounding basis. And that's quite interesting. You know, starting with just 9 XRP, which is not a lot and actually not too expensive, but might be also great for everybody to participate. And so forth and so forth. You know, 1,000 XRP gives up to 0.4%, 5,000 XRP gives up to 0.5%, and 11,000 XRP gives up to 0.6%. So that is the LP rewards, which will be distributed in daily compounding. So if you haven't downloaded the Zayman wallet, might be a good time to do if you're participating in this. So let's continue. You've shown this before. This is the deployment into the LP wallet, which you can do at any point in time. The team also told me that we have now a second boost. So this is a way of really enhancing your position in the liquidity pool. So whenever you invite people in your community, your friends, family, your network, into the liquidity pool and they deposit. So we have a couple of few hours left until the launch, and if someone joins and deposits within those 48%, not too bad. That, of course, has a little bit of caveat. The rewards that you will receive from deposits by other people by the boost will be limited to how much you deposited in the first time for the liquidity pool. Number two will be in the first week. So let's say you continue inviting people to join, and they choose to join, and they also deposit XRP into the liquidity pool. Well, then you can get a 30% boost from your person that you joined. So 30% goes right into your wallet, topping up and matching your initial insert into the liquidity pool. So we have a booster period of 30 days. That is going to be running for 30 days as an extra benefit for you to participate in this program. Now we are talking about the entire affiliate program. And I would say personally this is quite extensive. And I'm going to walk you through every detail of this program and make it as clear as I possibly can. But while I'm talking about this slide, which can be maybe slightly complicated, yes, I see that someone has already raised their hands. That's fantastic. And if someone finds the explanation a little bit tricky to understand, then please raise your hand and we'll try to walk through it in a different way so you can grasp the information in the best possible way. All right, now we're going to start with community deposits. All right, I see two raised hands. I hope that was not too early or too soon. So let me walk through the slides before we take any other action. So, community deposits, what is that? Well, basically it means that people that you invite to this program and they join. That means community deposits, and how much they deposit and how much you have in your LP position plays a big role in terms of unlocking the tiers for the community rewards. So as you can see, tier 1, 2, 3 is quite easy, only requires 9 plus XRP and you are set. And it's a 12% community reward on tier 1. To unlock 4, 5, 6, well, that requires you to have 7,500 XRP in your first 3 wings. And they should also be distributed equally. So we talk about 33% approximately a minimum inside each of the wings. To unlock the next levels, we have 7, 8, 9, and 10. 15,000 XRP now calculated over the first 5 wings, giving you a position. Naturally, this also needs to be distributed equally on a 33% basis. We have the next level of community deposits, which unlocks the 11, 12, and 13 positions of community rewards. Up to 30,000 XRP is demanded for in the first 5 tiers to unlock that in your direct referrals. And just to make sure you understand that to unlock also the tiers, you need to direct refer people. That is not just enough to send out and then let someone else do the job. You actually have to direct refer people 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so forth to unlock the tiers combined with the volume needed in the first 5 weeks. So that is the community deposit, the teamwork basically. All right, what about the self-deposit we have down here? Well, that's another way to unlock those referral tiers. So as you can see, 9 XRP to unlock 1, 2, 3, and 1,500 to unlock the 4, 5, 6. We have 3,000 XRP unlocks the 7, 8, 9, 10, and XRP 4,000 for 11, 12, and 13. And finally, 5,000 for 14, 15, and 16. So there are 2 ways of unlocking the tiers. Remember that direct referrals is required also. So there are community deposits and there are self-deposits to unlock those tiers for community rewards according to this from the team. So I hope that makes clear, and if it wasn't clear, now is the time to raise your hand and I will try to explain it in a different way. I can see there's already one hand up, but if there is someone who didn't really understand this explanation about the community rewards and the tiers and unlocking, well, someone has raised their hand, so let me run you through that again a little bit. Okay, community deposits means basically you invite people to this program. They deposit into the liquidity pool. If the liquidity pool, in this case, from the first 3 wings, there's 3 people, is a total of 7,500 XRP, equally distributed, well, then you unlock the tiers 4, 5, and 6, if you have direct referred 6 people in total. Walking down the line, we have the next step, which is 15,000 XRP in community deposits. They should be equally distributed in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiers, so the 5 wings, and 3 positions needs to hold 33% of those 15,000 XRP to unlock the 7, 8, 9, and 10 tier for community rewards, and so forth. The self-deposit, I think, might be a little bit easier to understand. This basically just requires you to deposit enough money into the liquidity position pool to unlock the reward tiers, combined with direct referring people. Because direct referring means you need to invite people personally so they can join by using your link to unlock those tiers of rewards. Hope that makes sense. Let's continue down the line. So we also have a next boost. This is another thing that the team has come up with, which is really interesting to see. So we have something called community deposits. We saw that before, but we also have a little bit different in terms of community deposits, and this will give you an extra boost. If the community deposits, remember again, equally distributed in the first 3 wings of the people that you invited, reaches the level of 10,000 XRP, well, now the bonus is jumping from 12% up to 24% in terms of community rewards. We're looking at the next step, but remember, for that to activate, not just the 10,000 XRP, you also need 2,000 XRP in total from your direct referrals, totally combined. Number 2 is next level in the boost for the community rewards, which means you need to have 20,000 XRP in the first 3 wings of your invites. And that will give you, along with direct referrals of 6,000 XRP, a bonus of 20% more in community rewards. And as you can see, it goes on and goes on. The next step in the boost from the team is, well, 30,000 XRP in the first 3 wings to unlock the next tier for the community reward boosting, and 12,000 XRP for the direct referrals in this case. Hope that makes sense. That is a way to really boost the position, and of course this will play out really well if you are in the game to win. Right, now we're talking about a leadership bonus. So whenever we are building teams in terms of this way of building team when it comes to referring and in this network, then we are looking at leadership bonuses. And in this case, we're starting at bonus X1, which means you have a position deposited in the LP of 1,500 XRP, and your community deposits in total is now at 30,000. But remember, it needs to be the first 3 wings, and it has to be distributed equally. So 30,000 XRP gives you an X1, giving you 20% extra bonus from those community rewards. We are stepping up the level then, up to the next level, which is a position of 3,000 XRP with the community deposits in the first 3 wings again, with 120,000 XRP, giving you an X2, 25% more bonus received. And so forth and so forth. This is really a highlight in terms of an extended boost that can really bonus your position. Sorry for that. The bonus, though, will be calculated on a differential basis. So I hope you understand what that means. If you're not, then please raise your hand. Right, let's jump on to the next slide. Finally, we have the X-Man. And that is kind of a nice way, the team they made up for X-Man means the global rewards. So when you are actually having 3, and I talk about this number 3 again, the 3x5. So if you go back, you know, the X5 was the top one in separate wings in your team. You then become eligible for the X-Men Global Rewards. That will grant you a 10% bonus of the global rewards for the entire project's distribution. Not a shabby thing. So that is really something to strive for, the X-Men Global Rewards. So if you haven't downloaded the X-Men wallet, it's definitely the time to do that. This wallet is the selected wallet by the team and should definitely be downloaded. It is a non-custodial wallet, meaning it's your keys, your coins, very important. It's native to XRP, has a very good command center and is really adopted in this world today. Over 900,000 users currently using this wallet. So this is the wallet that you are downloading and using for the launch now. Well, how to get started then? You are now in the name of a few hours away from the launch by the team to open your XRP LP account. And that is connecting your Zayman wallet, deposit XRP and start earning. Refer and grow your network. That is really as simple as it said. So let's jump further. A couple of important details to note here. So these are instructions that I think you should take note of so you actually understand this truly and clearly. The entire affiliate program operates on XRP. That means all payouts, pay-ins, withdrawals, and so forth is done in XRP. No other currency at this point in time. No US dollar, no fiat currency. This is XRP straight off the book. Right in, right out. And if you want to redeem, as I talked about, the security and the zero risk policy, you can take out your principal at any point in time, 24/7. There is no restrictions of the timing in redemption. The boost options then, well, the option to boost your LP position is only available in the first 30 days. This feature is not available during deposits or after the initial window. Rank qualification criteria, well, to qualify in rank, you need that volume contribution from the 3 wings with at least 33% volume in each. So the equal distribution that I was explaining. Zero risk policy, well, we talked about that. The zero risk policy is what protects your deposit while you earn the LP rewards. And of course, when you have received the rewards matching your position, well, happy days. Now it's just happy profits going forward, and the zero risk protection is deactivated. We are also talking about an ecosystem distribution. This will be launched on a later base according to the team. It will still be a 10% contribution, but this will only happen after you have concluded and get enough rewards that match your initial deposit. So if you withdraw at any point in time before, you will receive your full principal back. However, later on, if you're receiving more rewards, basically making profits more than you actually deposited from the beginning, well, then the 10% contribution will be applied. So that is it for this evening. That was a really breakdown of all the details in terms of Transocean, the affiliate program, and what you can expect from this program. My name is Mike Carter, market analyst in the XRP as in helping for them to reach the level. So thank you for participating. Thank you for being here, wherever you are in this world, morning, night, day. This is really now launching very, very soon. So keep your eyes in the Telegram group, of course, for the upcoming launch. And if you haven't seen that yet, let me switch over quickly to the Telegram group and show you. All right, 1 second, there we go. Here we go, as you can see. Well, launch date, today. Time, 4 p.m. UTC. That's what they posted in the group, and definitely something to look forward to. So we are now approaching that with very, very quick steps. What is the time right now? How far ahead are we? Are you having a check on UTC? Do you know what it takes? Well, we are actually very, very close now to reaching that level. So going and stay transparent so we can make this happen, and of course be awake so you can launch and deposit right into the launch today to start earning those LP rewards and boosting your LP position. So thank you for being here this evening. I appreciate your attendance, and of course happy depositing into the LP pool that is now launching in a few hours. I do enjoy this, and keep your eyes peeled and follow the social channels for the next upcoming webinar and all the information that is coming out from the team. Thank you very much. Have a good day, night, or evening, wherever you are.